Basketball fans, welcome back. So there's something that I really, really hate with the NBA, and in this video I'm going to address it. So it's on teams getting disrespected and not getting the credit they deserve. So in this case, I'm going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But in this one in particular is the I'm going to focus on the Oklahoma City Thunder and Shea Gilgeous Alexander. So Shea has been balling out of his mind for the past 2 seasons. I've seen this guy change the way he plays ever since he got traded from the Clippers in that PG trade to the Clippers. And he came to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he has just been balling out ever since. And I saw a report, and I saw Brian Windhorst when he went to ESPN. He talked about something that really, really rubbed me off the wrong way. And it's not him who actually said it in a way that was disrespectful, but it's the way people perceive the Oklahoma City Thunder and top teams in the league like OKC and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Brian Windhorst, he claimed that NBA players have no fear in facing OKC in the playoffs. So he called out the NBA players and the NBA's blatant disrespect towards the Thunder despite the dominance. So currently, as we speak, the Thunder are on pace to win 65 games this season. They are playoff lock. They're going to have home court advantage in the whole playoffs. And they're a team that is constantly getting disrespected by everyone. Nobody looks at them like a team that can be able to win it. And I can even say it's attributed to the fact that Shea Gilgeous Alexander is playing so well to the point where it's undeniable. And the MVP voters don't want him to win that MVP, similar to what happened last season, because he's not an American, he's Canadian. So they always have that nepotistic tendency to shut down everyone who is playing so well out of their mind, but they're not American. And this is exclusive to the people who are in the MVP race. If you talk about Shea Gilgeous Alexander, he's Canadian. Talk about Nikola Jokic, he's Serbian. Talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's from Greece. So even Luka Doncic to some extent, he's Slovenian. So you're seeing there's that animosity, and the NBA also have that blatant animosity when they look at a team like the OKC Thunder. They don't think they think they're still a small market because OKC is a small market. They're not popping like the Lakers, the Knicks, the Celtics. They're not popping like that, and they're a small market team. And the thing that angers me is this team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, even with their good play, even with Shea leading the way, even with their slew of draft picks, even with their continuous improvement in their game, they'll never still get the respect from the NBA and even the NBA players. And it was crazy because, Brian Windhorst even had to call it out. I'll clip the video and put it on the video. So,
Stephen A., I don't mean to have to be the guy who is defending Oklahoma City day in and day out on this program. I'm not even arguing that they are a lock or that they are one of the great teams of the last decade. But my God, is there an incredible amount of disrespect for this team. And Mad Dog, it's not just you. I hear it every day. I hear it implicitly from other people I talk to in the league. I hear it implicitly from players out there who are like, yeah, we'll be all fine on the same side of the bracket as Oklahoma City. They just don't respect them. And I go, why? This team, now look, they're not a perfect team. And if you want to create a case for why they do have flaws. And they got a problem tonight because Jalen Williams, their second leading scorer, is out. And I think the Celtics are just going to double team Shea when it matters. But this team is awesome. They defend. They dominate on that end of the court. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is absolutely one of the most efficient scorers we've seen in this era. This guy scores 30 points without breaking a sweat, and he does it every single night. He leads the league in free throws. He scores when he can rest. He scores, without using a lot of energy. So he's always got energy in the fourth quarters of these games. They have length. They have depth. They have size. They have matchup versatility that they can switch on all the wings. This team is absolutely capable of winning a championship. Now, I get it. They're the youngest team in the league. And you look at any league in any sport, you're never going to respect the youngest team. I'm not expecting the people to cower from them. But my gosh, I can't believe how little respect there is paid to a team that had 57 wins last year and is on the way to 65, 67 wins this year.
Man, it's crazy. So Brian Windhorst has been one of the most vocal supporters for the Oklahoma City Thunder this season, and his latest comments on Fast Take highlight just how much disrespect the team continues to receive despite their dominance. So Brian Windhorst, he's supporting the Oklahoma City Thunder. And yeah, I'm not even taking exception to Brian Windhorst because I totally agree with him on this one. I don't agree with everything that Brian Windhorst says. Some of the takes that he has are weird. But this one, he's spot on because if you look at the broadcast, if you look at the NBA media, NBA mainstream media, if you look at Undisputed, I don't think people even look at Undisputed. If you look at ESPN, you will see that there's always that bias. You'll see that there's always that favoritism, and they always want to talk about the big market teams. I mean, we just saw Fast Take Stephen A. Smith in his show talk about Bronny James with his 17 points, but when he scored 17 points in that loss. And they will still not talk about like the rising stars in the OKC Thunder. So that's the problem I have. So Brian Windhorst expressed his frustration over the dismissive attitude many players and analysts have towards OKC, Stephen A. Smith included, emphasizing that teams around the league do not fear facing the OKC Thunder in the playoffs, a statement that he believes is completely unwarranted. And I totally agree with what he's saying, because why is it that the Thunder is not going to receive any respect? So the numbers back up Windhorst's defense of the Thunder. So they currently hold the best record in the Western Conference at 53-12 with a staggering 11 games lead over the second seed. So you can see the OKC Thunder are tearing apart the league. So the gap between the second seed and the 11th seed in the West is only 12 games, showing how far the OKC Thunder is ahead compared to the rest of the league. So despite this, they are still not being talked about in the same breath as the other title contenders like the Denver Nuggets, the Boston Celtics, and the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is where I have a problem. So why is it that a small market team like the Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are thoroughly and dominating the league, they're not receiving the respect they deserve, especially when it comes to coverage? Look at the team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had like a 4-game stretch where they lost 4 straight. You're going to see analysts come out of the woodwork and have a field day and say, you know, the Cavaliers are done, all this. And the Cavaliers had the longest winning streak. They were winning. Even the OKC Thunder, when, you know, they have these runs, then they get beat by a top 4 seed. The analysts are going to come back and say, oh, you see, the Thunder can't do it. They can't get the job done against the top seed. So it's always a bias against. And that's something that I feel like it's very disrespectful. And much of the disrespect likely comes from the lack of playoff experience, but they ignore what they have accomplished this season. And looking at what they did even last season, it was crazy. So the Oklahoma City Thunder have been nothing short of dominant, and particularly on the defensive end. So the lack of playoff experience is something that angers me so much, and it's something that takes away from what they have done in the regular season. Last season, they won like 57 games, and they're still a top seed. This season, they're still a top seed, and they still have like 30 to 31 draft picks in the next 5 first-round picks in the next 5 years. So they have a chest of assets that they have through their trades that they have made, and they rebuild the team so well. The point where people think that just because, you know, they don't have star players like that, they feel like they can disrespect them. Personally, for me, I'm coming out to defend the Thunder and the small market teams, because why is it that we are ignoring them? So the Thunder's defensive rating of 106.1 is by far the best in the NBA. To put that into perspective, the gap between the Thunder and the second best defensive team, the Orlando Magic, is 3.3 points. That same gap of 3.3 points is the difference between the Magic and the 13th ranked defensive team. This means the OKC Thunder's defense is in a different tier than any other team in the league. So you can see these guys are not joking around. Beyond their overall defensive rating, the Thunder lead the NBA in nearly every key defensive metric. They are number 1 in steals, number 1 in forcing turnovers, they're number 1 in preventing opponents from scoring off turnovers. They allow the fewest fast break points and the fewest points in the paint. So you can see their defensive presence is undeniable. And additionally, they rank first in opponent field goal percentage and opponent field 3-point percentage, showing that their defensive efforts is both reflective in the perimeter and also inside. They also force the most deflections, recover the most loose balls, and draw the most charges. Simply put, they are an absolute nightmare for any opposing offenses. So, yet, what makes the Thunder more terrifying is that they aren't just a defensive juggernaut, they also have the fourth best offensive team in the league. They're the fourth best team in offense in the league, making them one of the most well-rounded, balanced squads in the NBA. And Shea leading the charge, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander deserves to win that MVP award. I mean, he must win that award. I mean, a lot of times I said last season you're supposed to win it, but if you look at what Jokic did, voters gave the nod to Jokic, and you can see there's going to be voter fatigue, and they will want Shea to win it. It's similar to what happened with Joel Embiid. When they saw like Jokic is winning a lot, let's just give Embiid the MVP. So Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has been playing at an MVP level, averaging 33 points per game, while leading the league in scoring, free throw attempts, and efficiency. His ability to score effortlessly while conserving energy for clutch moments makes him one of the most dangerous offensive threats in the league. So you can see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he has made a case for himself on why he should win the MVP. Last season, we said, a lot of people said he got robbed, but for me, I feel like he earned it, but, voters gave a nod to, like, the Nikola Jokic winning it, and it was crazy. But this season, he must win it. So Oklahoma City's dominance this season should command respect. Yet the prevailing narrative suggests that they're still an unproven team heading into the playoffs. So this is where I have a problem, and I've mentioned it. So Windhorst is right to call out the league's lack of appreciation of what the Thunder is doing. So the Thunder aren't just good, they're legitimate title contenders, and every single team should be worried about them. And whether or not any other team disrespects them, they will continue to break the barriers of what they can do. And personally, I like the way OKC plays. I enjoy their games, and I've been a fan. I mean, I enjoy watching the Lakers, but I watch a game here and there. But I try to make sure I'm consistent watching Shea Gilgeous-Alexander just destroy, other NBA teams. But the OKC Thunder have been great, and I feel like the disrespect that they're receiving is somewhat unwarranted, and I don't like it at all. So, I mean, that's just about it. So, Drew, drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about this. This disrespect for small market teams, the NBA needs to stop. And the propagators of this, ESPN, Fast Take, you can see Stephen A. Smith, or even the NBA, overall NBA media, mainstream media, don't care about small market teams. And that really hurts, because it really waters down their efforts, because they just want their flowers. Give OKC Thunder their flowers. They've done a lot, and looking at what they've done, it's unthinkable. And man, they're the first team to even I believe that among the first team to even make it to the playoffs. They got a playoff lock because of their first seed. So yeah, it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.